You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good in abundance today, overflowing. Wait till you hear and meet some of the most dynamic, loving, inspiring people that you'll ever come in contact with and what they're doing around the world to help you. And that's why, of course, you tuned in. You tuned in consciously and conscientiously to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore. You tuned in for one reason and one reason only, and that's great. That reason is because you care the most in the entire world about you. Y-O-U-E-W. That's wonderful, because when you care the most about you and you become the best you possible, you build bridges, you create more harmony, you bring more joy, happiness, peace, and love to the world. And at this very moment, you are joined by 349,613 people around the world. But each one of you is here for yourself and to lift up another and another and another. And we can bring a joy surplus to the world. Right now, there's a joy deficit because of the craziness of a pandemic. Now, people who will be watching this a decade from now, maybe a century from now, will scratch their heads and say, oh yeah, I remember that. But we are here to create a joy surplus in the world, and only you can do it. So that's why you're here, to tune in. And you know that on this show, we discuss the three fundamentals of life. These three are life. Your life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, you will go mad. Now, in this case, MAD is a wonderful acronym. It stands for make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, and you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to unlock and uncover the secrets and the power of everyday words and terms. Simplest example, right now you're watching or listening to this on the internet, which goes worldwide, right? So if you ask anybody, what does www stand for? Invariably, they'll tell you it has to do with the internet. And factually speaking, they're correct. But in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, W-H-A-T-A. And when you live with these three fundamentals, purpose, go mad, and uncover the secrets of everyday words and terms, you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. And who doesn't want that? Happier, healthier, and wealthier just by learning these three fundamentals and practicing them? Yes. And of course, a huge tip of the hat and a big thank you to Louis Armstrong Satchmo for enabling that song, What a Wonderful World, to go viral and touch not just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. And whenever you hear even the opening bars of What a Wonderful World, what do you do right away? You can't help it. You smile. Now, smile is one of the greatest words and acronyms that you'll ever be able to utilize, internalize, and leverage in your life, because SMILE stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. But invariably, people, when I'm talking to audiences, last time we did a face-to-face was a year or so ago before COVID, people raise and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours, I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you walk? Can you stand still? I can't. Do you have water to drink, to eat, place to sleep, family, friends? Every single one of those is a miracle. What's the simplest proof? Simple proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching, you're listening, you didn't. You have life. You have an obligation to live life exuberantly to the full. So when I do speak with crowds and I tell people about the story of Barry Shore and smile, and the story of Barry Shore, by the way, thank you. We have 320, 330,000 people every week. Thank you so much. And you invite your friends. So we're now over 350,000 people that are watching and enjoying this and learning from it and sharing with other people, because that's the key of life, is to share. Share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. So imagine the following: standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and that evening be in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from the neck down. And it was not from an automobile accident. It wasn't a spinal injury. A rare disease took over my body and overnight rendered me a quadriplegic. Means nothing on my body moved. From my neck down, zero. I was in the hospital 144 days. I was in a hospital bed in my own home for 2 years. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles, and that was progress. Thank God today, I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped, but I still can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice: positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Why? Because I've learned to see miracles in life every day. I can tell you a quick story. A few weeks ago, my 8-year-old niece comes over to me and she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-I-E-L? And I thought about it. Smile sounds the same. Why not? And I asked her, how come? Because she says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. Out of the mouth of babes. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Thinking, the ability to use your brain for neuro-linguistic program. Now, you have a brain. The brain has 100+ billion brain cells and more than 120 trillion synapses connecting them all. And they're there for more than deciding what kind of latte you want this morning. The ability to use your brain for neuro-linguistic programming, to be able to think in good, speak in good, and act in good, is incumbent upon you, because you can do it. Now, I have to interrupt myself and warn you and our guest in advance that I do use a lot of 4-letter words throughout the show. I even use the 4-letter FU word, and I do it because of the shock value, and it's fun. Now, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, 4-letter words we use are love, life, grow, hope, free, gift, swim, pray, play. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. F-U, capital N, capital M. Right away, people raise their hand. Barry Shore, fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, when you see your family and friends, you have a twinkle in your eye and a smile on your face. Remember what that stands for. Point your finger and say, F-U, everybody. Remember to add right away, capital N, capital N. Say, what are you talking about? So I listen to The Joy of Living with Barry Shore. He wants to teach the world to F you, capital N, capital N. That's the first step to joy. Now, I want to also urge you to, our guest is going to fill you with such wonderful, transformative information that you want to be writing things down and say, don't. Just lean in and let all that flow through you, around you, and in you. And after the show, later, when you want to watch and listen to this again and share with at least 5 friends, that's it, 5 family and friends, that's all. Share this, and over 1.5 million people will be watching and listening and help transforming the world and create joy surplus. That all you have to do is go to the website, barryshore.com, BARRY. SHORE.com, all the information. And there's lots of great stuff there. Transformative information will be about our guest. So before we bring her on, I just want to urge everybody to do the following. You're going to begin to help the process of a joy surplus in the world by using the 2 most powerful words in the English language. And if you use these 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously, for now and the rest of your life, you will create more harmony and more love for you, your family, your friends, and the whole world. And these 2 words are, drum roll, fanfare, da-dun, da-da. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks stands for to harmonize and network kindness. To harmonize and network kindness. The Dalai Lama has been quoted as saying, I read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. It's always possible, he says. So imagine you're able to go back to the coffee shops and you walk in, you order your fancy latte for $5, you sit down, somebody brings it to you. You say, thank you. You walk in the coffee shop, you order a fancy latte, you sit down, a few minutes go by, nobody brings it to you. You go to the counter, they say, oh, I'm sorry, we're so busy, you forgot. We'll bring it to you just a couple minutes. Okay, you walk, go back and sit down, and a few more minutes go by. Somebody brings it to you, you still say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you. You say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining, and somebody slams the door on you. You say, thank you. You're late for an appointment, you're stuck in traffic, somebody cuts you off, and you say, thank you. You get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. Kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. And I cannot think of anybody that I know that inspires noble deeds more than wonderful, amazing, wonderful Liz Edlich. Liz, please say hello to 358,722 people around the world.
Oh my gosh, a radical hello to everyone. And I am so honored to be here with you today. It's an absolute joy because not only do you lighten me up, but you touch the lives of so many and you're making that radical difference. And that's exactly the movement that matters. So we are so happy.
I love that she begins with movement, because if I start telling everybody the background stories and what's going on with Liz and Rachel, her amazing sister, and what they're doing, it would take up the rest of the show. So I'm not going to go through all those bona fides. We'll talk about certain things. But this is a movement, and we're going to talk about that. And I just realized, wonderful Liz, that your last name is pronounced Edlich. Now, Lich in Germanic languages means light. You are a light bearer. That's why you're in the movement. Now look at this woman. Does she not light up your life? And if you're listening, take my word for it. If you're not, you know, you don't take my word, but you can see it. I mean, beautiful, bright, beaming eyes, and that lovely hair, and that beautiful smile.
Thank you. I've already learned so much.
There you go. Thank you. By the way, Liz, when was the last time somebody said F you to you and you laughed?
Oh, thank you. You got me on it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's talk about, and I'm going to have you do this because they've heard me talk already, about what is them. See, Liz is a radical sister. Now, that means that she carries the light. She doesn't use it to burn down. She uses it to enlighten and cause burning passion in mostly women, radical sisters around the world, but it's also brothers too. In other words, it's a movement of people, but we start with radical sisters because, first of all, Liz and Rachel are sisters, real sisters, and they created something that on the surface looks to be something to do with a beauty cosmetic cream and potions and lotions and things like that. But the genius of it is that the application both of the potion and the lotion and the mindset that goes with it is causing radical transformation around the world. So Liz, let's just jump right in and let's discuss right away some of the background story about you and Rachel and what brought you to literally create, causing rethinking, enabling all to exceed, create this remarkable product or line of products that truly does work and transform everybody it touches. It's you. Let's go, Liz. Tell us.
Well, thank you. Well, it is a radical journey and a radical story. And, you know, our life, we were steeped in science from a very young age. And our father was a very well-known reconstructive surgeon, burn specialist, wound healing and repair. So skincare and anti-aging and skin rejuvenation was not something that we had heard nothing about or hadn't had access to science. So when we had adversity in our life, when Rachel, my sister, developed chronic rosacea, and for me,
let's define that. What does that mean? Rosacea. Does that mean she carried around roses with her wherever she goes?
Rosacea, yes. A very rosy face, rosy cheeks and forehead and chin, bumps, burning, and the doctors couldn't get rid of it. The dermatologist, there was no solution and no cure. And so we knew we had to get radical in our approach. If we wanted to make a difference, if we wanted to get absolutely mad, as you say, and not let anything stop us and not take no's for an answer, we would have to get back to the lab and do something about it ourselves. So we harnessed our dad's brilliance and many very well-known scientists around the world, and we created our own proprietary skincare that healed her skin and her sensitive skin and transformed mine just for anti-aging and gravity, because I wanted the best of the best that would work, and I wanted it now.
So let me urge you to pause here for a moment, because again, we have people, thank God, listening from all over the world. We have a large contingent in China and in India, throughout Africa, Europe, of course, the United States and Latin America. Let's just unpack a little bit. Your sister at a certain age and after birth developed this not just rosy cheeks, which everybody likes after skating in the winter, but this was a skin condition that made her feel terrible. That was the first thing. Yes. It didn't look good because it had, in addition to the coloration or discolor, we'll call it for the moment, bumps and such. It also, you had something that happened to you as an adult, and the sagging skin and the knowledge that as we get to advanced ages of 90 and 100 and 110, that we want to have the same visage as you do now. So you decided, you and your sister, that you were not going to take it anymore. And you were going to do something about it. Now, I want to go and mention your father, because you mentioned him. That your father, as you said, in passing, a world famous surgeon and inventor and scientist who also he went through university many times. He has many diplomas, but he also went through the most important of all schools, and that is adversity.
That's right.
So what happened to your father later in life?
So through most of his career, when he turned 25 earlier, he had gone blind temporarily. And they didn't know what it was, but it was multiple sclerosis. And so day by day, it got worse and worse. And over at about 50 years old, maybe younger, he became immobile from the neck down. And many people would say, okay, I'm a surgeon. I need to, use my hands to operate. He said, no, I'm not going to stop making a radical difference in the world. I'm not going to let anything stop me. I am going to change the world and change the landscape of medicine. So from a wheelchair, immobile, he published 3,000 peer-reviewed journal articles. He also created steri strips that he gave, the little bandages that you put instead of sutures. He gave it to Minnesota Mining, to 3M. Why did he give it to them? Because he didn't want them to put it on the shelf. And he says, I won't take a royalty. I'm going to give this to you because it's going to change the world, which it has. And so we had this radical DNA, this radical mentor growing up, where we saw someone take extreme adversity, and turn it into an opportunity. And so as Rachel developed rosacea, or I was just dealing with adult acne or aging, I was like, wait, he's done this from a wheelchair. Who are we to complain about anything? Get off our hind tail.
Yeah, get off here and get your butt in gear.
Get our radical gear on. That's right.
Good. So let's talk about Dad just for a couple more moments, because I want everybody to understand again. What happens is what Liz is helping me understand is that, using your father as the literally par exemple, the primary example, he wasn't defining himself. Wait a minute, I am a surgeon. I can't use my hands now. I am this. I am doctor. I am this. And now I'm immobile, but my mind still works. My brain still works. And most importantly at all, my heart. He was not allowing the situation to impinge upon his humanity. And I want to urge everybody to understand the word humanity has humanity. The U comes before the I in humanity. And that is, like you said, the radical DNA that enabled the sisters to now bring forth to the world something that everybody, every single body wants and needs. So let's go into what it is you develop, what it's called, and let's go through some of the process of going from, hey, we're going to sell this everywhere through the big stores and the big names, to where you're going to be today. So let's walk through the path.
So upon developing our radical skincare, a proprietary technology Trilacell, which kept all of the ingredients potent in the bottle, but that could be used on sensitive skin and help to heal inflamed skin, that's what we created. And so it transformed my skin, healed my sisters. And so frankly, we didn't intend to sell it. We had been in the business. We had worked with celebrities. We had, created skincare, etc. But we said, who are we? What is our legacy? If we don't take the gift that God has given us, we are here for a purpose, to explore and exploit our passion and create that radical difference. So who are we to keep it sitting on our bathroom shelves, or just giving it to our girlfriends? We need to share this with the world. And we did. And as the universe conspires to bring our dreams to reality.
Wait a minute. I'll put you on pause because I want everybody to hear this. Remember, everybody is tuning in because they care most in the world about themselves. You, YOU. This is great. Remember, I told you you're going to be happier, healthier, and wealthier by listening to Liz. What she's saying is, opportunity, the opportunity to touch all of humanity where people care, which is their exterior and their interior at the same moment. So let's continue on the path so that people know what's going on here, because she can drop names all day long and you'll tell us about the stores that will carry in, but I want the people to know that so we can go to the next step and tell them about where you are now. But let's talk about stores and such and glamour. Hey, people love it.
One thing that's really important before I even go there is to make sure I have the backstory that everyone can understand, that we had a dream to take it to the world. And so having a dream is so important, and you don't need to know how to do it before you start. You just need to make a decision. It's the decision to be in action and start before you're ready, and to harness onto the dream and what you want so deeply that takes you down that journey and allows the universe to bring to you all of the tools that you needed that lived in what you didn't know. The magic is in what you don't know, not necessarily what's there in front of you today. Because the facts always change. The facts don't matter. What matters is your intention. What matters is your vision of what is possible, believing in the unbelievable to make the impossible possible. And that's what we did. We said, we don't know how, but we know that we will, because we have the will to do it. And so we met the ex-CEO of Estee Lauder. Can you imagine? In Saint-Tropez, the ex-CEO of Clarins Worldwide and Clinique, and the list goes on. And they all got so radically inspired by our creams, by our serums, by the transformation that they saw and their friends saw. They said, we are the A-team of skincare. We want to help you get to all of those who need and want it. And so, yes, in 3 years, we were in 17 countries, 900 stores, Harrods, Barney's, Saks, Sephora, you name it, around the world. But what we saw when we got to those countries, my sister and I, to touch these people radically, is that what they really loved radical. They knew radical worked, and they saw it on their skin. But what they really wanted is reignite their passion, their purpose, their desire, and lead them to health and wealth like nothing they'd ever experienced. And so we said, we know how they were feeling on the inside. It's what's felt by the world. So we could have the best in skincare, but unless we transformed how they were feeling on the inside, then our journey wasn't over. We hadn't come and we hadn't been radical in our approach. So it pushed us to go further and develop radical rituals that in the morning and night, successful people in the world will say, what you think about and what you do in the first hour of your day, how you think about your life before you go to bed. Well, what do you do in the morning with a skincare regime? You use it. You're in action. What if you use those moments to anchor your gratitude, to goal set, to create and anchor the vision? When you're using your eye cream, anchor vision of what's possible. Play it like a movie in your mind. Feel your body responding to what is going to be when you have arrived to that dream. And so we use these radical rituals with the radical skincare. And then the perfect storm hit, the pandemic. Adversity.
Let's pause there, because the pandemic is a perfect storm. And what Liz has been sharing with us at the moment is what we've been teaching, as you know, for the past few years. We call it VVE: verbalize, visualize, emotionalize. So when you verbalize your intent, you visualize your intent, and you emotionalize it. Going to do it with radical trilacell, and we're going to come back in just a couple of minutes after these brief sponsors, because you're on the edge of your seat. I don't want you to fall off, so put your seat on. Liz is back, and we are lighting up the world. These radical sisters, as we said, they're burning gas, burning it up, and causing loving, inspiring zest. Now, everybody, loving, inspiring is Liz. Be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away. Hi, everybody. You know the story of Barry Shore, standing up in the morning, hale and hearty in the evening, completely, totally paralyzed. And I was like that for several years. You can imagine the difficulties I faced mentally, not just physically. And it's the mental aspect that was the most debilitating and the most frightening. And I got to tell you, it wasn't easy to speak to somebody. And I did. I finally did. I spoke to several people over the course of a number of years, and it helped immensely. And I know that it's hard to talk about these things. By the way, did you know that suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States for all ages? About 21 million American adults have a mood disorder, and especially with depression and bipolar, there's an ability to get help. That's the genius of what we're talking about here. There is help available from what's called the dbsalliance.org. I want to tell you a couple other things. Over 47,000 Americans died by suicide in 2019. Over 47,000. And middle-aged white males have the highest rate of suicide, counting for almost 70% of all deaths by suicide. On average, about 130 suicides every day. Every day. I urge you, please get involved for yourself, for a friend, for a family member, for someone you know that may have issues. I want you to go, please, to dbsalliance.org/suicide-prevention. Okay, it sounds like a lot, but I'm going to repeat it again, and you're going to hear it. You're going to see it on the screen. D as in David, B as in Barry, S as in Samuel, Alliance, dbsalliance.org/suicide-prevention, because we can prevent. Please do so now. Imagine the kind of place you would want to shop for your favorite fur baby pet. honestpets.co. Well, you found it. honestpets.co, not .com, .co. This is your go-to spot for the best, the cleanest pet treats that exist anywhere on the planet. All of the brands go through a rigorous review to make sure they meet the high standards of cleanliness, health benefits, and naturalness. This site was started by a husband and wife team, and it's veteran-owned, and that care about pets, especially dogs and cats, and coming soon, bird treats. These are very nice young people who really care about making a difference, because a portion of proceeds go to support veteran organizations with a focus on service dogs. This is the place where you want to go. You want to tell your friends this has the finest, yummiest, freshest, all-natural treats and stuff for your fur baby. So go there, honestpets.co. honestpets.co. Do it now. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, wonderful beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. Loosen a two-legged being, this bountiful, amazing person named Liz. Remember what Liz stands for? Liz is lovingly inspiring zest. And I want to tell everybody before she does that she is a pothead, and she encourages everybody to be a pothead. She's a radical sister, encouraging everybody to be a pothead. But what's a pothead, Barry Shore? Well, you know, we love acronyms. So we unpack everyday words. Pothead is power of transformation, helping everyone achieve dreams. Helping everyone achieve dreams. So we're going to just jump right in. As you have mentioned to me a number of times, Liz, that one of the purposes that you have had is to touch, inspire, and uplift people. And again, it's for men and women, but the focus at the moment is radical sisters. And radical sisters, enabling them to not only utilize the product, but utilize the product in their lives to bring greater benefit, which means financial freedom, entrepreneurship, a recognition that there are no limits. So would you be kind to talk to us about female entrepreneurship, skin wellness, and financial development all woven together? How's that?
That sounds like passion, purpose, health, and wealth to me, done radically.
Pothead.
I am a pothead, the power
Right.
of transformation. That's right. And that is our radical mission. And that's why we say it's more than skin deep. It's a movement. It's a radical movement. Radical skincare is more than skin deep. And what we said when the perfect storm of the pandemic hit, we said, okay, we've changed skin. Great. We've given you radical rituals to actually combine with your morning and night to take you in the direction of your dream. We've given you radical access to mentors and opportunities that we've had. But what we were doing is we were taking it through retail, through all of these stores, through the Harrods and the Barney's New York and Saks Fifth Avenue, and giving them the profits. And now we're saying, here the pandemic has hit, people are reinventing their lives. They're reevaluating who they are, what they want to do, how they want to do it. And I said, what if we got really radical now and took all of our assets, all of our opportunity, our press, our clinicals, everything that we've created, and what if we gave it to those and brought it into the hearts and homes of other people, other entrepreneurs such as ourselves, that wanted to use what we had created as a vehicle to take them to financial freedom, take them to their dreams. And so we created a radical brand partner program where we said, instead of giving the profits to the institutions, we're going to share the benefits and the journey with you. And
okay, wait, just give me a moment. I'm going to unpack some of this because this is Basically, what you did is you got off assets and you said, we're going to enable millions of people, primarily women, who have been hit hardest, I think,
Right.
during the pandemic, during the lockdowns. And this is not just the United States, this is worldwide, but let's be blunt. At the moment, it's going to be mostly in the United States, and enable them to not only utilize the product, but utilize it in their lives to touch, inspire, and uplift themselves, both in the mindset and in the pocketbook, and make people understand that it's not just a pocketbook, it's the mindset first. And that is what will set you free, because joy is a great acronym that stands for Journey of You. That's what joy is all about, journey of you. So you have answered the how and the who. How stands for helping others win, and the who is winners help others. You and Rachel are winners in every measure of success in life. And now you've taken that and you're helping others win. So let's go a little deeper. Let's go not just skin deep, but heart deep, and discuss what it means to enable someone. Take one person. What does, let's call her Barbara. What is Barbara going to do with the program? What is the program? What is Barbara going to do with the program?
So I love what you say about joy, because what we talk about is radical skincare. When you become part of the radical community, it's where your inner self meets outer beauty, because how you're feeling on the inside is felt by the world. And so because you're sitting there right now and you may not know how to get to your dream, we are not only going to give you the vehicle of a product that is the best of the best, but that's just the beginning. What we're going to give you are the steps to get there. We're going to give you the mentorship, the access to the coaching and a community. We weren't always winning. You know, as a matter of fact, we failed ourselves into a winning situation. And every day we look at our small little failures, or wherever we are, we're never starting over. We're starting in a different place and space. And so wherever you are today and whatever you're experiencing, know that it's just a click away, an action step away. We call it the three most powerful letters to us are yes. Saying yes to yourself, YES, saying yes to life, and taking the step to love yourself enough to hook in, because maybe you're not believing in you right now. Maybe you're overwhelmed by the situation you're experiencing. Maybe you don't know how. But borrow our belief in you. Borrow someone else's love for you, because this is the journey of wrapping people in love. It's not skincare. It's love and light, and taking them to their passion, their purpose, their health, and their wealth more than they ever dreamed possible. And only then, Barry, will we be winners. Because right now, we're not even close to the finish line. And to anyone who's out there listening and thinking, oh, it's not working, whatever I'm doing, it's just, I haven't gotten there. No, you never know how close you are to that finish line. You never know. It's that one foot in front of the other. The facts always change. They don't matter. What matters is your belief in your dream. And I can go through so many examples where people thought I was cuckoo batty crazy with what my dream was or what I thought was possible.
Oh, let's hold there, because that's the genius of this. You are, your dreams were. And here is the key for everybody that's watching and listening. Now, people have been with us for the past couple of years, and thank God, hundreds of thousands and millions of downloads. They know this, but I'm going to share it, because sometimes, now we have 162,800 people around the world. You haven't heard this. Ability for you to use talk is the most important speech you'll ever hear. But the radio says means nothing. What the internet says means nothing.
That's right.
What your friend says means nothing. What your family says means nothing unless they're encouraging. And that doesn't always. Here's what does matter. And this is what Liz is going to say. Yeah. STUCK stands for recognizing you are a soul experiencing life fully, teaching always love and kindness. Teaching always love and kindness. When you begin doing that for your own being, because you're a soul experiencing life fully, your inner being begins to transform. You become a head, power of transformation. And with that and the external use of this radical formula, which enables you to beam on the outside, and people start saying, well, what's going on? You look better. And then you inside you're smiling, you feel better. And then you keep looking better, because remember, looking better means always looking for the good. That's what radical is all about. That's what the system created. The ability for people to always look for the good. As you're putting on skin cream on your eyes, you're beginning to use your eyes. Always look for the good. Hello, radical sister. We love you, you pothead. By the way, I'm going to ask you again. Let's go to Barbara. Let's pick one person, call her Barbara, just a couple of minutes, and unpack. Let's say Barbara is a mother with 2, 3 kids, and because of pandemic and home with a lot of people all the time, and just feeling pressure, overwhelmed, maybe money is tight. Even if it's not, by the way, money is not the defining issue, but if it is, it becomes an issue in the mind. What can Barbara do with your mentorship, your coaching, the creams for herself, her friends, therefore transforming the whole world with the radical formula? Let's just step through Barbara.
Well, that is the perfect example, because one of the most inspiring moments that we have something called a deep dive that we share each month with all our radical sisters on a mission that join us on Zoom, and they always have access to Rachel and I. And there is a young mother who has 3 children under the age of 3. And
3 under 3 is a very famous line.
I can't even imagine. 3 under 3 at home. The pandemic, she needs to generate income. She also needs to stay at home. And her husband is at home as well. But being with kids all day, and then also not having access to the network she used to have because of lockdown and all of that, she felt isolated. She felt depressed. She felt like she didn't even remember who she was. She didn't feel excited or inspired. And someone just said, hey, come on and join this radical thing, this radical skincare, this movement, come and join this community. And she just checked in with this one Zoom call we had. And she goes, okay, fine. I don't know anything about skincare. I don't know anything about any of this. She received it and she just started to share her enthusiasm, because on the call she felt connected. We were teaching about passion and purpose. We were teaching about desire and visualization on the call, and giving them tools to keep pushing forward over adversity. She was so on fire that in the first month she's going to become a founding member. A founding member means that she's going to share in a percentage of all the profits of radical skincare while she's sitting at home, sharing what she loves with people she loves. And frankly, she's just stepping into more of who she really is.
Right.
She's like, I'm able to feel back to a sense of me. I'm able to take something that I never imagined possible and to give it to others. And what it's done is, in giving, it's put my world on fire. It's lit me up. And so people say, I don't even know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, I want some of it.
So this is the key. Remember, you have tuned into the joy of living consciously and conscientiously because you care the most in the whole entire world about you. This show is great and beautiful and wonderful as Liz is. It's not about Liz. This show is not about Barry. This show is about you, because you are going to be happier, healthier, and wealthier by utilizing the pothead that this woman is, the power of transformation. It's all at my website, barryshore.com. You want to listen to this again. You want to share with 5 people. And share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. That was what this nice woman was doing. And she's generating money sufficient to make her feel like she's she again, discovering who she is. And it's not that the more she makes, the more she'll be her. It's that as she shares, she becomes more of who she is. Because when she is the best her in the world, when you are the best you in the world, you literally create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. You create a surplus. And that's what our world needs. You don't need trillions of dollars. You need a mindset. You need one person picking up another, inspiring another, and we're literally holding hands and hearts together, and we'll call it the radical sisterhood, but also men are welcome. This is not a misogynist kind of place. This is a place of people helping people. Now, I'm going to give you a acronym for radical, but I want to mention also when Liz mentioned that this woman joined, joy, I want everybody to understand how you spell join, because you're going to be joining this movement or some other movement, but join. Join is spelled Joyn. That's how you spell join. We move the I away and we replace it with an I, which becomes joy. Join. I join with joy, because radical stands for rewarding awareness, developing inspirational caring, aligning lovingly.
Wow.
That's radical. And this sister in front of you, she be radical.
I love it. That's brilliant. Well, you're so right. And not only is she experiencing feeling herself again, not only is she feeling some financial freedom that she's just stepping into and just blossoming, but what's so amazing is when she's sharing it with others, she's not just sharing radical. She's getting in touch with other people's dreams and helping them realize their dreams. So imagine you're sitting there, and just because you were able, sometimes people, it's easier for them to reach for an anti-aging cream or a solution like that. It's easy for them to say, this is what I need, I want. But what they need is a whole different thing. And so when you cannot just give them something for the outside that's easy for them to digest, but to actually inspire them inside so that you can be part of their dream and their journey and accomplishing their goals. That gift, imagine someone calling and saying, remember when I told you that I wanted to go on this vacation, or I wanted to get my first home, or I wanted whatever that is? I did it. And it's because of you. So it just is the gift that keeps on giving, because we aren't alone. We're sisters and misters on a mission, making a radical difference.
She's into SMM.
Sisters
and misters. She's an SMN person, a pothead. Sisters, right? Pothead and sister, and she's SM. Sisters and misters. Because if you can't have fun, we can't get into that. As your father, I'm quoting, as you mentioned to me, to be a difference, you have to make the difference. And you do it by sharing. You do it by being you. You do it by attracting, not pursuing. You become, as we said before, you become the how and the who. How means helping others win. And the who is, that's what winners do. Winners help others, because winners inspire never-ending enthusiasm. That's wine. And that's the kind of wine we all want to drink. Winners inspire never-ending enthusiasm.
I love it.
That is what Liz and Rachel are all about. And they're building the sisterhood, because this is, let's call this business. And I use business in the most wonderful way. Because if you understand business, you understand community. Community, again, the you comes before the I. In business also, the you comes before the I. When you're providing people with what they want and help discover what they need and feed that, then you are literally an agent of change. And that enables you to live in joy daily. And by the way, you said the word giving a number of times, Liz, because the joy of living can be summed up in one word. And that word is giving. The real joy of living, giving. So we're close to our closing session. This time goes by fast, doesn't it? I'm going to ask you just speak a little bit more towards the idea of mentorship. You mentioned it, but what is it that you really do? Because let's be blunt, most people can't even balance a checkbook, let alone think they're going to be running a business that might go into the 6 figures, 7 figures, who knows, could be 8 figures for some people. But how do you mentor people with this process who are not ever touched money before in the real way?
Well, first, it's knowing where you're going. It's like your GPS, right? So if you get in your car and you never set your GPS and you are on an unknown road to an unknown location, you're going to go nowhere, potentially in circles. If you set a goal, if you have a vision of where you want to be, make that goal big enough that it scares and it excites you. It causes emotion to well up inside of you. So we help people set their goals, set them in the present tense as if they've already occurred. Feel them morning and night as they've occurred. And upon visualizing that, we then help them identify potentially belief systems or negative self-talk that is getting in their way, so that we can thank it for sharing, because it isn't about them. It was never true. It was something in the long ago. So I look at it like a goblin on my shoulder. Thank you for sharing. It's an everyday step to learn more, to be more, to do more, and experience more. So we have a Radical Cocktails and Conversation where we invite people on a monthly basis to
Will I be invited?
You are invited to have wine.
Woo!
You know exactly what wine can do for people. Just like we have the coffee and conversation to rev them up and get them going. And so as you don't need to know how, we have an entire back office. You click and play. This is my challenge. Click and play. So when people become part of our radical community, we are listening to you. Our goal is to serve you getting to your dream. So $1 billion isn't $1 billion number. It's being able to see millions of dreams come true.
Let me put you on pause for a moment. I want everybody to understand something. In the past minute or a half or so that Liz has been explaining and expounding on this, never once did she mention skin cream, the product, because that is what is maybe the vehicle. That's your car. That's
right.
Not who you are. Now, I want to just share with you, because you gave me this insight. You ready for this? You mentioned about the GPS, which is wonderful. If you don't set it, you know you're going to go nowhere. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
When you set your GPS and you know where you're going to go, you're turning nowhere into now here. See, you know where you are. I'm here and I want to go there, and I have a way to do it because of radical sisters, those potheads. They're going to help me get on the road and keep on the road and keep doing things. This is absolutely mind expanding. And as everybody knows, once you expand the consciousness, it doesn't go back to the same place it was. It might try to go back someplace, but it doesn't. And that's why I am so humbled and honored to be sharing wonderful Liz with everybody today, because this is the information that causes transformation. You wonder what IT really stands? People talk about, well, IT, that's the information, that blood, computers. IT really stands for information transformation, because information by itself, that's just data, numbers, it's words, unless and until the transformation happens when you get lit up by loving, inspirational, zesty Liz. And that's where the transformation, and it doesn't matter if you're living in Dubuque or Albuquerque or a small town in Maine or in the heart of busy Los Angeles.
No.
It's your world. You will be happier, healthier, and wealthier because of all of this. Wonderful, Liz, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to ask you a question that you have only 80 seconds to answer. Now, I think I know the answer, but it doesn't matter. You have 80 seconds to answer this question. You ready?
Yes.
What is your most fervent desire? 80 seconds only.
To inspire millions of people to achieve their dreams, so that the legacy that I will have lived is through other people's dreams, knowing they became a reality, and that we at least lit that fire, similar to like our father did from a wheelchair. He said, if we can be each other's teachers and just light the fire of another person's soul to expand and be all of that they can be, it allows me as well to be all that I was meant to be here. And that's just to love, inspire, and give to you. And my sister's dream is the same.
Thank you. 2 more questions. Will you come back again?
I'm back. I never left. I never left.
Okay,
I'm
very cool. And number right 2 there. Is, may I give you a hug in front of 361,222 people around the world? Are you ready? First, I got to tell you what HUG stands for. Harmonizing Unlimited Giving. Harmonizing Unlimited Giving. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm a better woman for it. I am the best, most loved, hugged pothead on the planet, a radical sister on a mission, sending you love, joy, and gratitude for spending this time with you, and your gracious and loving energy that comes into the room far before we click. Hello,
radical sister.
And my radical mister.
And you tuned into consciously and consciously the joy of living with your humble host, Barry Shore. You tuned in, remember, for one reason only, and that's the best reason in the world, because you care the most about you. Y-O-U. Becoming the best you possibly. You do that, you create more harmony in the world. You build bridges. You spread more joy, happiness, peace, and love. Remember the 3 fundamentals of life. Life, your life has purpose. You lead a purpose-driven life, Liz and Rachel and all the community. Then you make a difference in the world. You go mad. You make a difference. And number 3, uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. WWW. What a wonderful world. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day, as my 8-year-old niece says, seeing miracles in everyday life. Create the kind of world you want to live in, causing rethinking. Listen to Liz. Rethinking, enabling all to excel. Use 4-letter words. Powerful, purposeful, powerful, pleasant 4-letter words. Life, love, grow, gift, free, swim, pray, play. And tell the world to F you. F you, capital N, capital N. Remember right away. That was it. Where'd you get that? I listened to Barry Shore and the Joy Living. He says he wants to teach the world to F you. Capital N, capital N. It will allow you to engage in conversation and use the 2 most important, powerful words in the English language. Use them 3 times a day. From now, for the rest of your life, you will transform you, your family, your friends, and the entire world. And these 2 words are, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. Kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. Connect to nature daily. Our blessing to you is go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Share. Bye. Be well.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.